to tune in. Now another Sports Center, it's a movement.
But moving on, we're gonna go to the Philadelphia Eagles. Just, I don't know. I feel like we're in like this wacky time blender where like the Washington football team is like a sound team where they're making actual decisions, and the Eagles, who used to make good decisions, are doing what we used to do, in that they don't have an effing clue how to run their franchise anymore. What is going on? All right. I don't even really have,
because they don't have a lot of signings. They got
they got two guys. They got Anthony Harris, who actually is a pretty solid coverage safety, 1 year, $5 million. And then they got Hassan Ridgeway. And I mean, you let go of your quarterback, which I guess, whatever. You then decided to make Jalen Hurts your starting quarterback. Okay. Cook him with some grease. You decide to name him the starter. Then you decide to pull him in the last game of the season to further complicate his confidence with you. Then you reaffirm that, no, this is our guy. But then you try to trade up from your 6th spot to the 3rd spot to get another guy. You miss out on that. Then you decide to trade back. Shout out to the Miami Dolphins. Y'all helped us with that. But then you decide to trade back to 12. And your quarterback already knows, like, all right, I'm not your guy. What, are you going to lie to him now? Like, nah, man, that was just jokes. Like, you're our guy. Trust me. Philly, what are you doing? D-. Like, come on. No, F that. F. F-. You failed. You're going to be in the same classroom next year. All right?
I agree 100%. The only reason I would give him an F, the only reason I would give him the F- is because Anthony Harris is a baller. I think he's a great safety, and for them to get him on only $5 million was a coup for them. But other than that, I mean, Joe Flacco still thinking, hey, I'm going to come there to compete. I didn't come in there to teach. Bro, you should retire. You're closer to retirement than winning a starting job, realistically. But they didn't do anything. They lost players, which you knew that was going to happen because their cap situation was one of the worst in the league. They didn't do anything. They're like running on a treadmill. And then their head coach had the worst press conference I've ever seen, which makes me even less confident in that team. So I'd give them an F. I think they have the worst free agency this offseason.
Yeah, no. Cringeworthy press conference. I don't know what's going on over there. But at the same time, it's the NFC East, and the last team generally tends to go on and win the division. So I'm not going to completely count them out either, just because I know how it works around here. But at the same time, Philly, y'all suck, man. I don't know what y'all doing. But, moving on.
Hold on. I got one. I'm going to give him a little bit different grade. Excuse my guest, Isaac. He just got back from church and is feeling very giving. He obviously paid his tithes and offerings today. I'm not. I ain't here to make no friends. I got a lot of friends, Eagles fans. I give him an F-. If a grade was a Z, they would get a Z. They did so bad. If we could go to the numbers, they were. Man, this is so bad. I'm about to break my mic right now, man. Joe Flacco. It's pathetic when Eagles fans, who are like the most hardcore fan base in the National Football League, I love y'all for that, man. Y'all go hard. But to take and see them get high, oh, he grew up an Eagles fan. It's depressing. It's sad. You know what I mean? It's like when they make I don't know, man. It's like we see someone in their prime and they come back, like when Arnold Schwarzenegger does these low budget movies and his muscles are all saggy and stuff like that, man. It's really sad, man. It's like a pretty girl who farts. You know, she has all value in the world. She got the oohs and the ahs and the body shaped like a Spanish guitar. But she passes gas and you realize she just nasty. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. This is bird crap, man. Joe Flacco, really. I like the Hassan Ridgeway. He's not bad. And of course, y'all hit it on the nail with the Anthony Harris. But no, that's like, and their O-line is terrible. You know, I don't know what they're doing over there. I think they're going to tank next year to get the next best quarterback in the league. Expect them to be a top 3 worst team in the National Football League. So,
yeah, I'm here for it. One note about the Joe Flacco signing, as if you didn't already emasculate your potential quarterback already in Jalen Hurts. When you sign Joe Flacco, who's supposed to be your backup quarterback, you tweet out like the most endearing video ever as if this is the guy that you're bringing in to start. And if I'm the starting quarterback, I'm looking at this like, are you serious? Like, I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? You just dragged him through the mud, and it's just, I don't know what the Eagles are doing. You know, maybe they'll come out and be on top, and you know, we'll all be none the wiser. I highly doubt it's gonna happen, but you know, we'll see. Kudos to y'all for doing whatever you do. But moving on to the New York Football Giants, who is trending upwards into being the biggest pain in my ass ever, more so than the Cowboys. But I will be unbiased. They had a pretty solid offseason, and they've actually made their team a lot stronger. We'll start off with the big money signing Kenny Golladay. They got him for 4 years, $72 million. Now, granted, Kenny's a beast. He's a high point receiver. He gets the ball. He gets the job done. But he only does that for about 10 games a year. So that's a lot of money for somebody that might miss half your season. You know what I mean? He's not somebody that's going to get a lot of separation, but it oftentimes doesn't matter because he's going to outjump you and get that ball. So we'll see. Coming into the NFC East, I mean, there are a lot of jokes, but at the same time, other teams that come and play us usually go back to their respective homes bruised and battered because we beat the hell out of each other so much. When we finally see somebody else, it's like fresh meat. You know what I mean? So Kenny's coming in. He's coming in for the smoke. And it's like, all right, you came here. You're going to find out what it's about. It's smash mouth football in the NFC East. And he'll learn real quick. But I think that was a good signing for them overall. They also got John Ross on a 1-year deal. So that's somebody who's got insane track speed, but somebody that just hasn't put it all together.
You know, ball out for like 2 to 3 games.
Yeah, you know, he shows the flashes like, this guy can really be what, the first rounder that he was supposed to be. At the very worst, he's a depth signing. At the very best, he's somebody that can have a complete career turnaround. We've yet to see. So we'll see. But they got him for relatively cheap too. So I think it was like $3 million, if that. They also signed Kyle Rudolph, tight end from the Vikings. I thought that was probably one of their best signings, underrated. Especially when you got Saquon Barkley coming back off injury. That's the type of tight end that you want in that scheme because he's a very, very good run blocking tight end. And he's really good at sealing the edge against a lot of the better defensive ends in the league. So that'll help them out. And he's a red zone target. The guy's like 6'5", big guy. They extended Leonard Williams for 3 years, $63 million. It's a lot of money, but that's a player that, I mean, that's a hoss. So, I mean, he does deserve the money, so they did good on extending him and not drawing out the franchise tag any more than it needs to be. Then they got Zach Fulton for their own line. Not a bad signing. They got Danny Shelton, big guy for the middle of their defense. I think him with Leonard Williams, it's a lot of beef up front. So it'll be hard for teams to run on them at the very least. They got Reggie Ragland, Alabama linebacker, I think on a 1-year deal. And then they got another big money sign. They got a Dory Jackson, 3 years, $39 million. Now, in and of itself, I thought that was a pretty good signing, but I also have to give a little bit of pushback because that's somebody he's hurt a lot. He's got all the attributes. He's insanely fast. He's really pretty solid in coverage, but tends to be made of glass. And that's a lot of money for like Kenny Golladay, someone that might not be there the entire season. So, we'll see. But I think at the very best case scenario, him and Bradbury will be a solid tandem in the defensive backfield. So overall, I have to give it to them. I gave them an A-. They did a lot of really good moves, savvy moves. They added talent to their team and they supplemented it. It supplemented the talent they already had. So, I mean, I can't hate. I mean, obviously I hate them, but I can't hate. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll give them an A. What do you guys think?
I would agree, man. I give them about an A as well. I think that Dory Jackson signing was good. And the reason I think that was one of their best signings is because it's a very incentive heavy deal. There's not a whole bunch of guaranteed money necessarily. He has a low cap hit this year and then a bunch of incentives. So if he stays healthy and plays like they think he can, he'll make more money. But I think the Giants set themselves up because it's not a bunch of guaranteed money to a player who's been hurt. They had a really bad run defense last year. So Getting Danny Shelton, Reggie Ragland, and re-signing Leonard Williams is going to definitely fix that. Because those like Reggie Ragland, if he can't do anything else, he could bring the wood. That's a very good red defender as a linebacker. Kyle Rudolph and Evan Ingram, arguably, besides New England, arguably the best tight end duo now. Because of the balance they have, Evan Ingram is all over the place, a great move tight end. And then Kenny Golladay. Again, I think they gave him a lot of money, a lot of guaranteed money. But Daniel Jones has been a playmaker. I think they've done stuff with Kenny Golladay, Kyle Rudolph, Evan Ingram. I think they've done some stuff to kind of limit some of his turnovers, because those guys are going to if you throw the ball up to them, they're coming down with the ball, you know? So I think they kind of did some things to eliminate some of his turnovers with those kind of players, as well as Devontae Booker, who's a very good third down running back, very good pass blocking running back. So I think they did a lot to help their team out. They're young, but they signed a few key veterans that are going to kind of help them take the next jump. So I think if their coaching staff has it together, they could be a dark horse team that makes a little bit of noise in that division.
I love it. I'm right in that ballpark, man. I'm gonna give them a solid B. I love the defensive signings, man. Gosh, look at these names: Ryan Anderson. I mean, Afidi Odin Nigbo. I don't know if I say that right. Leonard Williams, Danny Shelton, Reggie Ragland, Dory Jackson, who has a lot of upside. Again, as you mentioned, Isaac, he has to stay healthy. Love it. That side of the ball, I give it an A. But if you're grading the whole team, I also like that they got John Ross. Let's talk the offense, right? I love that. Lots of upside. Got him cheap, man. You know, got him for $2.5 million. They got Kenny Golladay, 4 years. He's gonna be there for a little bit. Devontae Booker gives you some depth to your running back. I remember. I don't know if you guys remember. You know, their running back. You know, he made a statement about getting an O-line. And then you see him we saw him get injured, and you see he's coming into, was it year 3 or 4 of his contract, I believe. Man, is he going to want to be there for a long time? Is he going to even last in the NFL with an O-line like that? You know what I mean? So just like with the Cowboys, I'm going to say this, O-line needs to be like their first 2 picks in the draft. Has to. And when you're going up against a team, which I know we're about to cover, Washington football team, who has a stacked defense, you're going to face twice a year. You know what I mean? They're not just stacked for the NFC East, they're stacked for the NFL, just absolute beast. I mean, are they really? I mean, are they going to be able to get the ball off to Golladay? Are they going to be able to get the ball off to Kyle Rudolph? You know what I mean? Is their star running back in the backfield, is he going to be able to do big things? I like what they're doing. I just hope in the draft that is something that is addressed. Sun Tzu, I actually have a direct quote. Sun Tzu, did The Art of War, one of the most popular books of all time. Says, know your enemy and know yourself. You can fight hundreds of battles without a disaster. Key word is know yourself. Know that your O-line is trash. And all these O-line signings means absolutely nothing if you cannot take and block for your quarterback and your star running back and Saquon Barkley. But yeah, I give him a solid B. B as in Bravo. Yeah.
All right. And now for the crown jewel of the NFL, the Washington football team. I like what we're doing, man. This is a team that, this is year 2. New coach, or year 2 of the coach, Ron Rivera, new front office, and it looks like the adults are in charge. We're not throwing $35 million guaranteed for 5 years to a 37-year-old Deion Sanders. We're not giving $100 million to Albert Ainsworth anymore. Man, I was hyped for that signing too. Like, I remember, like, on my desktop computer, like, yo, we got Albert Ainsworth. What was I thinking? Like, I don't know. Dude. But those days, it looks like are long gone, and it's refreshing to see for the fan base. So without further ado, will dive into these signings. We started off with the first signing of free agency for us, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, Fitztragic, depending on how you think about it or see him. I'm of the mind, I really like this signing because if you think about it, we won 7 games last year, but we also lost 5 games by 1 possession, So a couple bounces of the ball, we're talking about a 12-14. You know what I mean? So, and we did that with Dwayne Haskins, who's, I'm not even going to start on him. Good luck to you in Pittsburgh, young man. And Alex Smith, who was essentially on one leg and did not drive the ball downfield at all. Just check down. So at the very worst, we have a guy that's going to give the playmakers the ball. Now, I'm not, by no means do I think this is the guy for the future. Clearly not. But he is somebody that I think will run our offense much more efficiently than what we've had in the past. You know, this is a team that has had a lot of potential that was kind of held back by the quarterback position. And I think, you know, you take the good with the bad with him, but he's somebody, I mean, got him for 1 year, 10 mil, relatively small cap hit. And he's somebody that guys love to play for, and he's going to chuck the ball. So that's going to be great for Terry McLaurin. That's going to be great for Logan Thomas. It's going to be great for Antonio Gibson. You know, we have speed on that side of the ball now, and we finally have a means to get our speed, the ball in the open field. Speaking of speed, the next guy, Curtis Samuel, got him for 3 years, 34.5. Got him reunited with his childhood best friend, Terry McLaurin. They're buddies that have played together for almost the better part of the last 12 years, and they're in the league. That's in and of itself, that's awesome. I love seeing things like that. And Madden is going to be lit, let me tell you, because that's a gadget player. You can put him on the outside. You can put him in the slot. He can take carries in the backfield. He can do end arounds. He's a chess piece that I think our offensive scheme is finally going to be able to play with. And he's being reunited with Ron Rivera and Scott Turner, our offensive coordinator. So they definitely have some plans for him. I really like what he brings. We needed somebody else because Terry McLaurin, I love him, but he needs help. We need other weapons. And I think we got that. So teams can't just focus on Terry McLaurin, which, I mean, he still eats anyway. Triple coverage, you still had 1,000 yards, you know. But now you have another guy that can help with that. I love that. We franchise tagged Brandon Scherf. I'm a little bit, I give a little bit of pushback on that because, I mean, I don't really particularly like paying $18 million to a guard, but this is an all-pro guard and somebody that does his job very well. And I fairly certain that we will get a long-term deal done with him. So I think this, at the very worst, you're paying him a high cap hit, but effectively we have the cap space to be able to do it. Worst case, he leaves, we get a 3rd-round pick in the following draft. Best case, we get a long-term deal done with him, which I think will be the case, possibly later down the road. And we're set there. So I like how they're playing it. They're not panicking. They're kind of taking it as it comes. Next guy we got William Jackson III, cornerback from the Cincinnati Bengals, one of the better coverage cornerbacks in the game right now. 3 years, 40 mil. I think like 27 guaranteed. We gave essentially cornerback 2 money to a cornerback 1. And somebody that knows Kenny Golladay very well, has had some wonderful matchups against him and has shut him down more often than not. So that in and of itself is going to be a fun matchup 2 times a year. These are 2 guys that know each other very well. And basically we lost Ronald Darby, who's a solid player for us, and kind of upgraded the position with William Jackson III. He's somebody that really is going to fit our scheme. And if it's one thing that Ron Rivera is going to do, it's going to make your cornerbacks good. So I think in that scheme with Jack Del Rio as well, him and Kendall, I was going to say Kendall Fuller, I think they're going to be really good together, along with our safeties and Cam Curl and Landon Collins when he comes back. So it'll be fun to watch him. And then we got Adam Humphries, slot receiver. He was a free agent. Spent a lot of time with Ryan Fitzpatrick in their Tampa Bay days. Not like a crazy signing, but somebody that gets the job done. Sure-handed, little speed to him, and he's somebody who can move all over the field. But he does damage in the slot. And at the very worst, that's just another pair of hands that's going to work for our offense. So I think him, Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel, you can do a lot with that, and especially with also Antonio Gibson in the backfield. That's the main signings we've had. I would have probably liked to see us attack more in the linebacking core. and maybe get some O-line. But as you mentioned, Mike, before, this is a very deep draft in the O-line. And I think, and from what I'm reading, it's something that we are very aware of and are planning to attack as well. I like that we gave Cornelius Lucas a 2-year contract last year, because when he was with the Bears, he played himself into some money. And when given an opportunity, he held down the left side of the line really well. We get back Sadiq Charles. He hurt his knee, and we put him on the ICER for the rest of the year. But he's somebody I think that will be our future left guard. From what I'm seeing, he's attacking the offseason program, and he's coming in ready to rock. So I don't find the O-line to be as big of a need as it has been in years in the past. But like you said, you can never have too many O-linemen. So the draft will be fun because I think we'll see us get more linebackers, probably some more weapons for the offense, and definitely some more O-line as well. I gave us a solid B. Nothing more, nothing less. I like that we got a quarterback that we can use. I like that we got some weapons. And we'll see how the rest of the offseason plays out. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely agree with the B. Ryan Fitzpatrick's a good placeholder, but I feel like they're kicking the can down the road in that position. And they're going to be a team that they're going to win enough games that they're going to just miss out on the elite quarterbacks in the draft. And I kind of think that's – I mean, he's cool. He's a stabilizing force, but I would like him a lot better if they were going to draft somebody. So I think maybe second, third round, they draft like a Kellen Mond, somebody like that. Then I would like that signing a lot better. Curtis Samuel is a great receiver. I just think they have a bunch of small, fast receivers. They need like a dominant guy to go up and get the ball. They don't have that right now. I mean, they do have Jordan Reed at tight end, but you kind of want that outside as well. So I think that was a good signing, but I would have liked to see them get a big physical receiver. They have a bunch of kind of gadget, quick kind of players, you know. So I would have liked to see them do that. Brandon Scherf, I think he's a phenomenal guard, top 5 guard in the NFL. I would have loved to see them get a long-term deal done. And again, there still is a little bit of time, but I think that cap hit for a guard when you can get a starter in the 3rd, 4th round is kind of high. So hopefully they can get that done. And then William Jackson, the 3rd, phenomenal signing. They got him for about the same price the Broncos got the guy he's replacing Ronald Darby for. So I think that was a phenomenal signing. Great cornerback. So, and their defense is just going to attack. Their front 7. You mentioned linebacker. I think their defensive line is so good that their linebackers just have to clean stuff up. So you can really I've never played linebacker in my life, but I think if I was playing linebacker for them, all I'd have to do is clean up some stuff because you got Young up there dominant. I think he's going to have a huge year this year. So I give him a solid B. Again, I think they made some moves. I would have liked them to do a couple things a little differently. Brandon Scherf signing the surefire, number like big physical kind of receiver. And, Ryan Fitzpatrick's a good bridge, but was he bridging you to? So that's kind of a question mark. But I think they had a pretty solid offseason, and Ron Rivera's they're going to be a tough team. Ron Rivera's a phenomenal coach. So
that's awesome. For me, man, this is a tough one, man. I'm going to have to give them an A-. I got to watch football at A-. I'm going to grade them and I obviously have my prediction video. It's going to come out probably like this August. I always like to wait till after free agency and then, of course, off season and the NFL draft. But do you see what they did? The O-line was pretty bad over there in Washington. So to take and see them pick up, 3 O-linemen right out the gate. Well, 2 O-linemen and re-sign Brandon Scherf. I mean, that's really, really good. I like that. Would like to maybe see them get one more O-lineman because, again, you got – I mean, and it's not even for sure that Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to start. Correct me, Isaac. Was it Tyler Heineke?
Tyler Heineke. Old Dominion.
Yeah, I mean, I have him on here. They re-signed him for another year. So to see how, what Michael Vick got a white brother we ain't know about. I mean, that dude was just out there balling. He was balling. I mean, I love seeing what he was doing out there against the Buccaneers. Obviously, they lost, but that was a very competitive game. And to add layers to the already defense, which you already have, man, I love that. Curtis Samuel, very good sign again. As you mentioned, Mike, smaller guy, but he could definitely tote the rock as far as when he gets it in his hands. Really dope receiver. Adam Humphries, he's a guy. He needs a team to believe in him. The guy, he has wide receiver one skills, but doesn't have a lot of flash. But the flash that I have seen looks really, really good. I mean, when he played for the Buccaneers, he left in 2018. And then, of course, he's just coming from the Titans. There's always been other receivers in there that have been much better than him and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I give him an A-, and I really, really, really like where they're headed, man, overall. So I'm definitely seeing we could see some really big things. I mean, especially in the playoffs, the Washington football team. Sure.
Couple of notes just to kind of go over. So love Jordan Reed. He's with San Fran though. He wasn't with us last week.
My bad.
But I do love him. That is one of my favorite players ever. Jordan, if you listen, I love you, man. I pray all is well with you. Also, I think with the draft, there's O-linemen, but this is also a huge draft for receivers. This is probably like the deepest receiver draft we've seen in a long time. And that's saying something with the draft that we had last year and 2 years ago, just putting ballers in the league. Granted, I think we are targeting a few big body receivers in that draft. Just from what I've been reading, that seems to be, we don't want to put too much money in free agency. I think we're really, with having with all our picks plus 2/3, I think they really plan to attack it to kind of supplement us. But we're not going to disrespect Terry McLaurin. My man is 6 feet tall, and go watch his tape. He goes up and gets the ball. He's not a small guy. I have to at least give some pushback on that.
That's what she said.
It is what. But
he's a fast player. I mean, he's a great receiver. I'm not hating on him. I would like to see them have a Cortland Sutton or a Keenan Allen type kind of receiver. I think would balance him out a lot better.
Yeah, one guy I like in the draft when we did our draft video, Tamarian Terry from Florida State. That's one of my biggest sleepers. I'm kind of hoping we get him. Just Megatron-like skill set. Just need to stay healthy and stop arguing with his coaches. But no, this draft is going to be fun.
I hope you guys get him too. I don't think he's going to be good.
No? Yeah, well, we disagree. But no, this is going to be a crazy draft. And hopefully we can all get together and do that too, because that'll be a lot of fun.
Time to tune in. Now another sports center. It's a movement.